Everyone, you're watching Good for the Game TV. We're into the Tour de France, and we're going to be having a look at stage 3 in this preview. If you are new to our previews, then please go down below this video, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of them. And I'm also putting some links that you'll find useful in the top comments bar as well. You can subscribe to our Tour de France newsletter, and also follow the Good for the Game forum, where there's punters who post their picks daily. Let's get straight into the action. Look at the outright betting of the very interesting day yesterday. It was a superb ride by the Jumbo team, coming in comfortable winners in the end ahead of Team Ineos. I was on Mitchelton Scott at the start for a small interest, but then in running I realized that Ineos team wasn't as bad as, or time wasn't as bad as the betting suggested, and I took them 10-1 in running when Katusha just missed beating them. And at that point Jumbo hadn't gone out yet, and that bet was looking really good. It shortened to 2-1. But from the first time check onwards, it was clear that Jumbo, they did the business well and truly. So they've still got firm control of the yellow jersey at this stage, with Tiernissen and the man poised quite nicely to take over from him, his vote for it. Let's go to World Sports Betting then, have a look at the outright betting. Obviously not a lot of change after 2 stages. We haven't really had any mix-up with the GC. That could change today. While not a GC stage as such, today certainly looks a stage where someone could lose time on the GC. Egan Bernal from Ineos, he's 2-1. Geraint Thomas 5-2. Thomas looked very good, I must say, in the team time trial. It's often difficult to say who's looking good when you've seen 6 guys riding next to each other in the same uniform. But I did think Thomas looked powerful. He did a lot of work yesterday. Jakob Fuglsang, he's 9-1. He had the crash in stage 1. I actually thought he battled a little bit yesterday, although reports afterwards saying he was actually stronger than he expected. Kruijswijk, he was the big winner yesterday as far as the GC guys goes. Gained time on everyone, and his price has shortened from around 20-1 to 12-1. Adam Yates, Mitchelton Scott, perhaps a bit disappointing, but probably as a result of Yates. I think they would have gone faster, but probably had to just pedal it a little bit slower with Yates being on board, because he's not a big time trial guy. Thibaut Pinot, I thought his team were excellent yesterday. They really did limit the loss, and it was their good performance that saw the betting shake up, because after Ineos came in, they were short, and then all of a sudden these guys rode within 6 seconds of them. People started thinking, well, Ineos time wasn't that good, and Ineos drifted right out. But in fact, Ineos time was good. It just wasn't as good as the Jumbo time. And credit to Thibaut Pinot and his FDJ team. They were really superb. Uran also looked strong yesterday in his team, 18-1. And then you got the likes of Nibali, and my pick, Quintana, 20-1. Now, Quintana has drifted slightly, but Movistar, I think, rode, if you looked at it, if you told them at the start of yesterday they'd lose 40-odd seconds to Ineos, I think they would have taken it. Overall, it does look a bit disappointing, though, because there were teams that beat them that you would have expected them to beat. But this is a side geared very much for climbing. Richie Porte, also disappointing day in his Trek team yesterday as well. Let's quickly look at the stage profile for stage 3. And this is an interesting one today. First 160 Ks or so of the 215 kilometers, fairly straightforward. And then we get into these short, steep climbs, 1.1 K at 6.8%, 900 meters at 10.5, 900 meters at 12.2, and right at the end here, a kilometer at 5.5% as well. Now, the final kilometer here is very interesting. Before we get into that, though, just a comment. We're going to get a breakaway that goes, it's going to be chased down, but there's going to be plenty of opportunities for a late breakaway here as well. There's also some really narrow roads coming in. A guy called Will Newton, follow him on Twitter, he said put a pickup of the one right turn into a narrow, what I would almost call a forest pathway with about 4.5 kilometers to go. It's going to be absolute carnage. If you get caught too far back, you're going to struggle to make up the time. And we are going to see some splits between the GC guys today. Unless there's really bad luck, we're going to be talking seconds. But there is also, it's going to be very difficult to stay out of trouble. Let's just have a look at the last kilometer, because what we have here is the last 500 meters rising at 8%. It's not a classified climb, but 8%, which is too steep for the majority of sprinters. Obviously, the likes of Peter Sagan and that can potentially do this. That's even quite steep for him. If it was a kilometer, 8%, I'd say he had no chance. 500 meters, he's definitely got a chance. And we'll see who the bookmakers expect to be the protagonist. Let's go over to Sunbet and have a look at their betting. Julian Alaphilippe actually opened up second favorite at around the 4-1 mark, and he's now shortened. You've got to take the 1 off here for the decimal. He's 2.75-1. to win the stage. Peter Sagan, 3-1. Sagan, of course, beaten into second in stage 1. And then here's an interesting one. Wout van Aert, he is looking like an absolute beast on the time trial bike. We saw in the Dafuni that he can sprint as well. Probably a bit untested on stages like this, But there's no doubt about it that I think that he will be Jumbo's man today to go for the win. And he's 7-1. He'll certainly have plenty of support. I'm a very big fan of this guy. I think he's a superb cyclist. Caleb Ewan, it's also just bordering on being too steep for him there. I think his main problem, though, might be hanging in over some of the other short, steep climbs on the way. But he has shown some good legs, and he's 10-1 to win the stage. Michael Matthews, you can get 11-1. Sonny Cabrelli, well, he always seems to find one or two better than him, but he should be okay for this. The 8% might just be getting a bit steep for him as well. He's quite one of the bigger sprinters around. He's 20-1. Valverde 20-1. I don't know if he's still got it in him to win a stage like this. And Greg van Avermaet at 20-1. He'll have a little bit of support as well. Interesting guy, Schachman. He's 22-1, but you would expect that he's going to have to work for Peter Sagan on the day. Right then, let's get into my pick, and I'm going to drop a little bit further down. EF Education's Alberto Bettiol. He's looked absolutely brilliant this season, and from what I've seen of him in the Tour so far, he looks pretty strong. He is 33-1 for the win and 6-1 for the place. And I reckon this guy's going to try a late attack. He's a classics rider, and I think he could be quite hard to peg back if he gets a little bit of space. So he's my speculative play today at 33-1. I'd sort of skim a bit further down then and go to the match bets, because there's another bet that I do fancy a little bit here. And Peter Sagan against Alaphilippe. So interesting here that Alaphilippe, despite being the favorite, is even money in the match bet, which does surprise me a little bit, because I think either way these two are going to be coming in together. I can't see any of them really making a late break. I think they're going to mark each other very closely. And I think Alaphilippe has got a good chance. So I'm taking Julian Alaphilippe at even money to beat Peter Sagan. So let's pop onto the Good for the Game website now. This is where I'll be posting my bets. Great ride by Jumbo yesterday. I say it certainly was superb. I'm going 2 units on Alaphilippe over Sagan at even money Sunbet, and I'll go half a unit on the win at 33-1. Haven't decided if I'm taking the podium yet. I think for Bettiol, it's going to be all or nothing for me. Go for the win there at 33-1. Guys, thanks very much for watching this video. I hope, like me, you're loving the tour. Obviously, if you're working like me as well, you have to record it and watch it later, but that's fine. Just stay off social media so you don't know the results. All of my mates know not to WhatsApp me any Tour de France results until I've given them the all clear. Thanks very much once again. We look forward to seeing you for stage 4. And yes, subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. If you're a rugby fan, look out live tonight at 9 o'clock. Use it or lose it. And I'm going to be talking about one of my pet hates, the way teams close out the game in the last few minutes by simply retaining possession. Thanks, everyone, and enjoy the tour.